So you finally amassed enough gear to warrant buying a patch bay. I was going to talk a little bit about how to set up that patch bay. So in general, the bottom row of a patch bay is going to be your inputs, and the top row is actually going to be your outputs. There's three types of connections you can do with your patch bay. You're going to have normaled, non-normaled, and half-normaled. So with a normaled patch bay, there's nothing you're going to need to do as far as plugging in cable to get signal from the bottom row up to the top row. It's just going to flow naturally. With a non-normaled patch bay, you're going to have to actually plug in a cable to make any connection happen. So if you want signal to flow, you're going to have to physically punch in a cable to make that work. A half-normaled connection on your patch bay is actually pretty similar to a normaled one, with one exception. So signal will flow just as usual from bottom to top on that patch bay, but you can actually use a half-normaled connection to split signal off. Many patch bays actually have switches that you can change, so you can change up your pair of connectors from being non-normaled to half-normaled to full normaled by just flipping a switch. Very easy, and it's great to take advantage of that. On my patch bay, this top row is actually the inputs from my ISO recording room, and those are half-normaled to my mic pre's. I half-normal them so that I can actually real quickly take a split and try out two different mic pre's on one source if I want to just check out what the differences are going to be. From there, I also have the output of those mic pre's half-normaled to the input of my DAW. Typically, the input of your DAW is going to be called multitrack send, and the output of your DAW is going to be called multitrack return. This is a holdover from using tape machines. To show you an example of a real simple vocal chain, what we're going to do is we're going to have our microphone that's plugged in the ISO room to channel 1. And that's already flowing into our 1073. But I actually wanted to add a compressor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the output of this Brett Averill 1073 and plug it into my Manley ELOP, and out of the ELOP back into channel 1 in my DAW. All of my EQs, compressors, and effects are non-normaled. So I don't want the signal to feed back into itself on this compressor. So I want to actually patch it every time. Well, there you have it, guys. Patch Bay 101. I hope that was helpful to you. And I know a lot of people get confused on patch bays. It can be a little bit overwhelming if you're not used to having to actually patch in and out of this gear and you've got all these connectors. So just take your time and think through your signal flow. If you have any questions about how to set up your patch bay, or if you've got any trouble with your patch bay, please write in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. Thanks very much.